Hey, get in, fellas. We're going to therapy. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be your host, Dr. Steven Solomon, a double board certified psychiatrist. And what that means is that I'm certified to work with humans from cradle to grave. More importantly, for the sake of the show, I was also once an emotionally constipated Midwest frat boy turned shrink who had to get all the way to my psychiatric residency at age 28 to learn the basic skills that I feel most men are capable of learning if presented with the opportunity. I also used to be an elementary school teacher, right? Really emphasizing that I know and have seen that if we were teaching these things to young kids and beyond, our world would be a better place. Finally, as I hope to mend the doctors, so righteous, or for whatever men just don't like listening to doctors, we know that mended fence. I'm often going to describe myself as both a patient and a practitioner. As I'll proudly describe and talk about, I've been in my own therapy for years, over 5 years now. I found it tremendously helpful in both personal and professional settings. I want to make sure I give a shout out to my close friend and the producer of the show, Mr. Richie Davidowski, and his sidekick, the Basset Hound, as you see in the cover art, Mr. Rambo Jackson Davidowski. Richie may be pushing the buttons, but as you can see by who made the cover art, Rambo runs the show. So I wanted to make sure I interjected to say that we're really lucky to be starting this podcast in June, as it, along with November, are often recognized as Men's Health Awareness Months. So some quick stats to make sure that we understand why this is so important and why I really feel this resource targeted to young men is going to have a big impact. We know that men are 4 times more likely to die from suicide. We're also aware that men are much more likely to turn to drugs and alcohol to cope, which leads to a litany of problems, and that men are significantly less likely to seek treatment for mental health problems. Okay, so how are we going to do this? What are we going to be doing each week? So each week we're going to do a mix of things, okay, to help us build empathy and to help us understand and grow as people. Okay, so each week we're going to highlight a famous fella from pop culture. Could be sports, could be TV shows, could be movies that set a good bro-motional example for us all to learn from. We're going to interview non-bros to help us build empathy and perspective into the lives and experiences of others. We're going to have experts on who can teach us new things to help us be our best. And finally, we're going to use real-world examples from guests to help learn and practice some of the skills you learn in therapy. Some examples of these will be, and you're going to hear a lot from the ladies in the next episode of this show and why the ladies want us to go to therapy, is expanding our emotional vocabulary and improving our emotional expression, helps with communication all across the board. And another example might be conquering our fears. In therapy, there's a really straightforward, systematic way that we go about conquering fears. And I think that'll be great content for people to pick up and be able to put in practice in their real lives. So with all that being said, I'm ready to rock. I hope you are too. I hope you're ready to work on being kinder, more gentler, more empathetic, more open men, because it's time. All right, let's get going.